Once you're down here, the entrance is straight ahead. Underneath, you're down here, the entrance is straight ahead. Underneath.
Entrance is straight ahead.
Posters that we have lining the street. Now these posters represent just a small handful of the now over 8,000 different movies that we've been making right here, basically since day one. And it all got started back in 1912. That was when our founder, Carl Lemley, moved out to this location from New York City. And he moved out here with a dream to create an entire town dedicated to making motion pictures. That's exactly what he did. So we first opened our doors as Universal City only 3 years later, March 15th of 1915. We are in our second century of making movies, and we are our own city. Guys, we have our own zip code here, our own police substation, we have a post office and dry cleaners, we even have 2 Starbucks so you know we're real. And we've also got our own fire station. And don't believe me? Look over to your right-hand side. Ta-da! This is Universal Fire Station 51. Guys, you are looking at real fire trucks. Those are real firemen. And you know what? That's going to be the last real thing you see on the tour today. But they are there for all of our emergency needs, and not just our studio. But they also help us out upstairs there in our theme park room. But even with all that, there's still one thing that our city doesn't have, but your cities all do. I'm talking about residents. Right? No one actually lives here. They just come to work every single day. And we're also split into 2 sections. We have a front lot and a back lot. And right now, Mark is taking us right into our front lot. So this part of our movie studio consists mainly of these big warehouse-type buildings. We call them sound stages. As we head down this hill, take a look off your left-hand side. You can see one right now. This big tan building over here, that is Sound Stage 12, the largest of our 28 working sound stages that populate our studio. And if you peek around the front side, the front door is actually open. A little glimpse inside. Their back door is open too. It is massive inside that soundstage. It is roughly 30,000 square feet of filmable space inside it. So of course we've used it then for a lot of our bigger movies throughout the years. If you take a look at your monitors, I'm going to show you. Here's a handful of the iconic locations that we built right back there in Stage 12. Up on your monitors now here, guys, this is when the soundstage looks completely empty. As you can see, they're just big empty warehouses. And then we build our indoor or outdoor sets inside here. Whatever a filmmaker needs, we can pretty much accommodate for them inside these structures. On your left-hand side now, we've arrived at stages 17 and 16. We are using both of these for the Peacock television series Saved by the Bell. They're working on a 2nd season of that rebooted show for the popular 80s and 90s series. It actually stars Mario Lopez and Mark Paul Gosselaar. They are back, you guys. They are appearing in the reboot of the show. Now, to take you away from those sound stages, keep looking off to your left-hand side. You're going to be seeing the Saved by the Bell base camp over to your left-hand side. These white trailers you see with the Quixote on the side, these are the star wagons. They're the trailers, the dressing rooms, the break areas for all of our main actors, the main cast members of Saved by the Bell. But this is also where they get into costume in the morning. We have makeup trailers for our makeup department to get them ready for set as well. And that's also where they have all their meals in that location. Now, just behind these trucks on your left-hand side, we have our 2nd largest soundstage, Stage 21. Very popular among some big-time filmmakers. Way back in the 1980s, director John Carpenter turned the inside of our Stage 21 into Antarctica for his classic horror film, The Thing, starring Kurt Russell. They made it so cold inside that soundstage, you could see the actor's breath on camera. And And director Steven Spielberg also used stage 21 for multiple scenes of Jurassic Park. You guys can remember Jurassic Park, there's that scene where the dinosaur sneezes on Alexi and she's sitting in the tree. Guess what? That wasn't shot outside. They built that jungle and filmed it in stage 21. Off to your right-hand side now, we call this cluster of sound stages our sitcom alley. And it's where a lot of your favorite shows of yesteryear were once produced. Shows like these popping up on your screens right now. Classics like The Jeffersons, Coach, and even Sabrina the Teenage Witch. But we filmed some newer productions here too. The new NBC show Mr. Mayor utilizing these sound stages starring Ted Danson. And Ted Danson probably feels right at home. On your right-hand side now is stage 44. That's where he filmed for all 4 seasons of The Good Place. Look over to your left-hand side though. We got another Ted over here. Ted the Teddy Bear. Drinking what looks like the dirtiest martini I've ever seen in my life. Just behind Ted, we've arrived at our production bungalows. These bungalows are offices to some of the biggest writers, producers, and directors in all of Hollywood. But they were not always used as offices. During the golden days of Hollywood, like the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, these bungalows were the dressing rooms of big-time movie stars like Jimmy Stewart, Doris Day, Rock Hudson. But they are now production offices to companies like Seven Boats Production Company, that is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's production house. He has offices here. We've also got Mark Clabb Productions located here. They're off your left-hand side, just down this street. You can see that white sign back there with the black MP. They made a little movie called La La Land back in 2016. On your left-hand side now, pretty famous bungalow. It's number 5195. If you look just to the right of the number, pretty familiar profile of a man there in that circle. The profile of Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Now, below was his office during the latter half of his career. And we got 2 of our relatively newer and more modern-looking stages on your left-hand side now. These are stages 22 and 23, and they're being used for the NBC show Kenan, starring Kenan Thompson. Saturday Night Live fame. They are back filming for their 2nd season of that show already. So they film in these stages, but they also film in our metropolitan sets, in our backlot. We are now leaving the front lot behind. We are crossing over. We are entering the backlot. Now, it's out here, the world is just around the corner. We can film anything out here. We film the big stuff on our backlot, just all of our larger outdoor scenes that can't be built or shot in a stage. So you are getting a look now at our metropolitan sets of the buildings you see on your left-hand side here. We're going to drive through in a moment. And though they look real, you gotta remember, guys, we're in Hollywood. Nothing is real, even the buildings. We call these all facades and shells. That means they're just the fronts and sides. And what might look like all the brick and all the stone on these buildings, it's all just plaster, plastic, and plywood. It's all very easily changeable and moldable materials. We are only going to build what the cameras are going to see. Your imaginations fill in all the rest. Does all that hard work for us. So we only film on the outside of our metropolitan buildings. A scene that would involve an entrance or an exit, scenes that take place on a street or a sidewalk, anything outdoor like that. We can't film inside them. There's not enough room. We can't fit all the actors, crew members, and all of the equipment necessary to film a scene in here. If we need a scene to take place in one of these buildings, we recreate the interiors in our sound stages. That is how the front and back lot work together to film a scene for a movie or show. So we're going to roll inside here now. The first location we're driving through, this street is called our London Square. So it can be used to really represent any city. That's what we have to be London. This was used, though, as London for movies like Disney's Saving Mr. Banks with Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson about the creation of Mary Poppins. But this was also used as India in television shows like The Mindy Project, starring, written, directed, produced by Mindy Kaling. Now the wall on your left to fool the eye. When this wall is in the background of a shot, because of all of the way it's painted with the depths and shadows, it looks realistic on camera. It's a great thing to have in the background of any of our movies or television shows. Adds some depth to it. But look at this, guys. Just one street over from our London Square, we can take you all the way over to the Big Apple. We are turning down onto New York Street now. And my co-host, Jimmy Fallon, he is definitely no stranger to these parts. So you know what? I'm going to briefly throw things over to him here for a minute. He's going to show you around our New York street right here. So here he is live from our Metro set. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. That old one, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, it's cool guys. It's just walking up. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
So we've made television shows down here like American Ninja Warrior. If you're fans of that show, they actually build a little obstacle course for the athletes on this street. Whenever they have the LA trials for that show, they're actually filming here. If you watch it, they'll always say, live from downtown LA. They're lying to you. They're not, you guys. They're actually right here. We just make these buildings look like we're in downtown LA. This has also been used as New York City, of course, for movies like Captain America, The First Avenger, starring Chris Evans. If you've seen that film, guys, what they shot here was right after Chris Evans gets his superpowers and he becomes Captain America. He's running down the street, he's jumping on car to car to car. That was actually shot right here. However, when they do actually film here and utilize this street, they have to bring in a lot of elements to bring these sets to life. Things like traffic signs, street lights, benches, bus stops, hot dog vendors, things like that to really make these sets come to life. But the two most important things they're going to add are going to be background actors and background, oh, we have an E-cord pull. Say if this is a medical emergency, please pull that cord again for me. Medical emergency, pull on that cord again. All right, if you dropped something, pull that cord again for me. All right, one moment, I'll be right back, guys. Indoors for our King Kong 360 3D ride, so please put those facial coverings on for me now. Making sure they're covering both your nose and your mouth. Facial coverings on, everyone. And a couple of people in car 2 that do need to put those facial coverings on for me. Here's the deal, guys. If we don't put them on, we don't go inside. Hold on to your belongings. Remain seated. Welcome to Skull Island. Alright guys, I want you to hold on to those 3D glasses for me. You will need the glasses one more time at the end of our tour for our Fast and Furious ride. Don't let them go falling off the side on you. But the epic battle you just experienced over King Kong show, that's projected onto some of the largest 3D screens in the world. The screens in that building stand about 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. And it was designed, as I mentioned, by director Peter Jackson. But he has some help from the special effects filmmakers at Weta Digital. Those filmmakers from Weta have won 6 Academy Awards now for their various special effects work. And trust me, you know their work. They've done special effects for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Rise, Dawn, War for the Planet of the Apes, Avengers Endgame, Deadpool 1 and 2, and even Avatar.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know people are looking. They're looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that they're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this, a lot of the movies that they used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot, this tram that's driving along to Skull Island is where the canvas comes. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Now, you probably saw our tram up there on this screen in our King Kong show. When you saw our vehicle up there, it became a picture car. That's any vehicle you see on the screen for a movie or television show. And if you take a look off to your left-hand side, you can see some of our more famous picture cars throughout the years. Get those cameras back out. It's been a great photo opportunity. We've got some vehicles from our Back to the Future franchise, Part 1, and the very futuristic 2015 set Part 2. Next to them, some of our prehistoric cars from the Flintstones movie. They are actually golf carts. We slapped some fiberglass shells on top of them. We've got 3 picture cars from my favorite Universal franchise, the Jurassic Park movies. And right here at the end are 3 more from the Paramount franchise, Transformers. As we drive by them, take a good long look at the tank right here at the end of our display. Look really hard at it. I'm going to blow your mind. That tank is made almost entirely out of plywood. That's right, do a double take. They just painted it to look like metal. That way it's a bit more lightweight. We can move it around property way easier. But as I mentioned, the Jurassic Park franchise is my personal favorite, so I think it's only fitting that I now get to take you to that jungle island off the coast of Costa Rica. But there's only one guy in the whole world who can properly introduce.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Welcome indeed. We've got some more picture cars from this franchise down on this street. If you look over to your right-hand side, that's one of the boats from Jurassic Park 3 with Sam Neill, Taya Leone, and William H. Macy. On your left-hand side, that's the mobile lab unit from the sequel, The Lost World Jurassic Park with Julianne Moore and Jeff Goldblum. And we also keep the dinosaurs from the movies right here as well. They're all in their cages, though. Check them out. These cages... Wait a minute. Well, these cages are empty. Oh, no. I am so sorry. The dinosaurs have gotten loose, guys. I swear, Now, in all of our Jurassic Park movies, weather can play a pretty important part, right? Weather adds a lot of tension and suspense to the scene of the movie. Think about it. The first time you see the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, when does it happen? During the night, when there's a thunderstorm going on outside. It makes it seem a lot scarier. And we can create any kind of weather that we need to here on property. We're going to show you how we do that now. Mark is taking us down into Old Mexico, and we're going to have a weather demonstration here. We're going to create a thunderstorm. And let's do it over here in the clearing off your left-hand side. We're going to kick on some thunder and lightning. The thunder you hear just comes from the speakers. They're hidden throughout the area. The lightning comes from strobe lights. They are up on the rooftops. So we just need some rain now. All right, here we go, guys. In 3, 2, 1... into the air, falls back down to the earth naturally. It looks just like rain on a string. That's all there is to it, guys. A couple of sprinklers, bit of gravity. You too can make some rain at home. There is one catch though, you see, if we keep these weather effects going and on for as long as they have been now, take a look up that hill, everybody. We are bound to create a flash flood. Alright, this is where you start taking cover. Or keep taking video. It is your life. Weather. That's all we gotta do. We even use that flash flood effect for a movie called Big Bad Liars, starring Gene Lottie, Amanda Bynes, and Frank Muniz. All right, we're gonna hop right across the border now, out of Old Mexico into the Old West. This is our Six Points, Texas.
Yeah,
And this is also one of the oldest areas still standing on the lot today. These buildings around you, parts of them, they date back to the silent filmmaking years of the 19-teens and the 1920s. But this area is still rented out for filming all the time. If I have any Quentin Tarantino fans on board, you'll probably recognize this area from his latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in his Academy Award-winning performance. In that movie, guys, Leo DiCaprio plays a really famous Western television actor, and he's making a Western show in the movie, and they film those scenes right here. That is one of the only times I can think of where our movie studio gets to play a movie studio in a movie. It's all very meta, but it's Quentin Tarantino, so it works. And a lot of your favorite cowboys of all time, they've walked up and down this street here, and one time or another, we've had cowboys here like Clint Eastwood, Kirk Douglas, Jimmy Stewart, and of course, the Duke himself, John Wayne. As we leave 6 Points, Texas behind, look on your left-hand side. So this lovely body of water right across the street. So we call it our park lake, and we can use it for filming. We can totally film on this body of water. It can be used to represent areas of the world like Central Park over in New York City, for example. You see, guys, sometimes we don't want to fly all the way across the country to use the real Central Park. We will just drive down the street. This body of water does just fine. However, it's probably most recognizable as becoming the entire Amazon River in the creature from the Black Lagoon. That's the lagoon, guys, where Gilman was terrifying people way back in the early 1950s, actually. One of our classic monster movies, one of our later classic monster films, our earlier ones, so like Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, all those classics of the 1930s, well, they were shot here down these cobblestone streets of Little Europe. Now, folks, these buildings here can be any European country that we need them to be. We just change the language on the sign, add some set decoration, that's really all it takes. But if I do think to that NBC show, The Good Place, with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell, then you know it's better as A Good Place.
You Eleanor Shellstrop are dead.
Cool. This location, the afterlife. I've never seen this.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
No, it is. If you have not watched The Good Place, what are you waiting for, guys? All 4 seasons are streaming on Netflix, and I know you all have a Netflix account, or you're stealing one. Get on and check the show out. I guarantee you're going to like it. As we reach top of this hill, look over to your right-hand side. This clearing where there are parking vehicles out there today. Very special part of our universal history. That is our Court of Miracles. And it is right there where all those classic monster movies were first put on film. Those movies like Frankenstein and The Invisible Man. And what do all those movies have in common? They all have that scene where the angry villagers grab their torches and pitchforks, chase them on through the streets. Those are the streets right there, guys. Now, our monster movies are so important to us. They are what kept us going and staying afloat during the Great Depression of the 1930s. During that decade, guys, lots of major movie studios like Warner Brothers, MGM, and Paramount, they were forced to sell off large portions of their backlot sets just so that they could stay in the green during those years. We did not have to. Our monster movies were so popular and so successful, they kept us going through the entire 1930s. We're heading indoors again, guys, so please put those masks on for me once again. We're going to head and check out one of our sound stages. So this is Soundstage 50 that we are pulling into here, guys. And it's a permanent set. It is always custom built to resemble a subway station platform. There's a gentleman in the front of car 2 in a Lakers hat. I need you to put a mask on for me. Over both your mouth and your nose. Yep, a facial covering is required inside here. Please put that mask up over your mouth and nose for me. Alright guys, I would like to apologize. I've put you all through so much already. We've survived an earthquake, a King Kong attack, some dinosaurs. Let's mellow things out. We're going to go to the beach next. Now, there is no beach better than the one at Amity Island, of course. I'm sure you're all familiar. Check it out. Lovely water, beautiful houses. Teeny tiny shark problem though. Yeah, I'll level with you. There have been some rumors here about a giant man-eating shark. Don't worry about it though. We got my buddy George out there in the water. He is looking for, well, he's looking for that shark. Where are you? George, do you see him? George, that shark is swimming right for you. What are you doing? George, you okay? Alright, well maybe he didn't hear me. Let me try again. George, do you need help? I can't tell. He could still be alright. I take that back. Everyone look away. Nothing to see over here. George is fine. He's a trained professional. He'll make it out in a couple of pieces. In the meantime, short, let's mark this round next. Those flammable gasoline tanks. What can possibly go wrong? that Steven Spielberg did use in the movie Jaws, also named Bruce. And there's also another pretty famous Bruce the shark out there in movies, right? In Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo, fish are friends, not food, also named after our shark. However, our Bruce worked way better than Steven Spielberg's Bruce ever did. That is because when Spielberg tested his mechanical shark, he did it here on studio property, but he used fresh water. They filmed Jaws on location on the East Coast in the ocean. That was, of course, saltwater. The shark immediately malfunctioned, and the very first day of filming, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
That's a much underlying shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work over time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, "The shark is not working. The shark is not working."
We just waited a minute. We just waited a minute. The shark was low enough to be a while there. And it was
As we make our way up this hill, guys, take a look off to your right-hand side. This home sitting up there on top of the hill, call it our chicken ranch. That has been used for movies like The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Charles Durning. But if I have any horror movie fans on board, you probably know that house better as Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. And if I have any music lovers with me, the house was used in LMFAO's Party Rockin' music video. We got all kinds of houses around here. Take a look off to your left-hand side. This is the entrance to our Colonial Street, one of our residential neighborhood settings. But if I have any fans of the show Desperate Housewives, you are looking at Colonial Street. It was used at Wisteria Lane for 8 full seasons. That was appearing on ABC. We have filmed some newer productions down that street as well. Movies like Lion, starring Bryan Cranston and James Franco. And we saw the movie Ted 2 with Seth MacFarlane and Mark Wahlberg. That is where Flash Gordon's house is, down on that street. And if you're watching the new Netflix series Never Have I Ever, produced and written by Mindy Kaling, there's a second season now. Davy's house is down on that street there as well. We can film anywhere on studio property, guys, including the streets that we are climbing right now. We call this Wilderness Drive. We've used all these surrounding trees to make television shows like Fox's 911, starring Angela Bassett. There's an episode of that show where right at the beginning you can see a limo driving in the distance in the middle of nowhere, and then suddenly the limo is flipped and turned upside down. That happened right here. This is the middle of nowhere. And that limo would not be out of place in our next area, guys. We have a second picture car display coming up. Get those cameras back up. If you are fans of movies from many Fast and the Furious, Transformers, or classics, we got all kinds of cars over here. The shiny yellow one right there in the middle is from the George Lucas movie American Graffiti. And 2 cars down from that kind of tan, peach-colored vehicle, that belonged to Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's classic movie, Psycho. And guess what, guys? That car is not too far away from its location. That is right. Welcome to the Bates Motel. This is the setting of that 1960 classic thriller from Alfred Hitchcock. Psycho stars Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. And take a look up there on that hill. We've also got the original Psycho house just up there. As we drive by, you'll notice it looks a little bit smaller than you probably thought. That is on purpose. It is built smaller, so when it's perched up here on the hill, it looks a lot farther away than it actually is. A little trick of the camera. As we drive by, though, take a look at the upstairs second-story window. You're going to see Mother Bates up there rocking away in her chair. Give her a hello wave as we drive by. So I'll be polite. And then take a look at what we stuck in her backyard. We have this epic airplane crash set. This is from Steven Spielberg's movie War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise.
The airplane press site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steve had.
When we first had to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
As we leave this area, take a look off to your right-hand side. You can see right across the street there, we got that big blue wall. And if you look just in front of it, kind of hard to see with the green fence around right now, but there's a giant concrete basin right there in front of it. We can fill it up with water, and then we use the area to become any large body of water we need it to be. For example, a few years back, we turned it into the Hudson River in the movie Sully, starring Tom Hanks. Take a look at your screens. I will show you what I mean.
Evacuate.
So right here, guys, up on your monitors, the airplane you see, the actors, and all that water, that is real. They filmed this just out there. But take a look at the background of this shot, where the buildings are, and the clouds are in the sky. That's all fake. That is the big blue wall. We add that stuff in way later on in post-production using special effects. Never would have guessed right. It is amazing what we can accomplish these days with special effects. So think about that big blue wall as though it's like the world's largest green screen. Because that's what it is. Green screens and blue screens, they work the exact same way. It just means there is a certain color you can't wear when you stand in front of action. And have your 3D glasses ready. You do not need to wear the 3D glasses quite yet. You look stunning in them, but take them off your faces. Just hold on to them. Folks, I will tell you this time when to put those glasses on. It's going to be in a couple of minutes. But also make sure you hold on tight to your belongings again, remain seated. We're getting a video message patched in through. Take a look at your screens.
Hey, yo! They just got here. All right, I got it. But listen, hello, beautiful people, particularly you right there missing the third row. My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row. You know what I'm saying? So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there is made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels. Extra.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
So like I was saying, the third row, right?
Alright, we are going to head into that next bay here in just a moment. And when we do, folks, you still do not need to wear your 3D glasses. Keep holding on to them. I promise to you, I will tell you the very moment you need to put those glasses on, okay? Alright, the door is going to open. Let me take a peek inside here. Oh, there is a party going on next door.
Everybody out! The FBI! Protect your dog! FBI, don't move.
Him?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this garbage out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Trying to move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
All right, everybody, it is now time to put on those protective 3D glasses once more. Continue to remain seated. And Mark is going to take us safely here inside of what looks like a low level of Jurassic Parking. Okay? Well, hopefully no one parked their parking today.
This is our turn. After them! Okay, guys, it's showtime! I got the bull by the horn! Now we're moving. Everybody hold on! It's the nitrous! Ride or die!
Ladies and gentlemen, Fast and the Furious Supercharged. That is the largest video 3D experience on the planet.
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
All right, folks, our tour is coming to an end, but there's one more thing I want to show you. Get those cameras back on, point them off to your right-hand side. I give you this amazing view of the San Fernando Valley. You are looking down at our movie studio. Beyond us out there is also Warner Brothers, ABC Studios, Disney Animation, And in the very far distance, you can make out that big blue and yellow building. Guys, that's the largest IKEA in North America. Only here in Hollywood. So with that, you've now survived the entire studio tour, guys. Give our driver Mark up here a big round of applause. Got us through everything safely and in one piece. We are en route back to our theme park, so gather up all your belongings. You don't want to leave anything behind on the trail. Check the seat next to you, down the floor by your feet, just in case something fell during one of our attractions. Make sure you watch your step when you hop off the tram as well. And as soon as you do, there will be some blue bins in front of you. You can place your 3D glasses right there inside those blue bins. Keep